There's no question whether a Kohen sees the poem on the regel. So it says it's a machlokes, letaro, letuma, it's a machlokes between the Chachomim and the Tanakama, and Remeir. Remeir says you can, because the Kohen only will say if it's to be lenient, not to be machmir, so on and so forth. Okay. But the Gemara's conclusion is like this. The Memra, see it's about 10 lines up. The Memra, the Kohen Talya Milso, that one state of being is up based on the pronouncement of the Kohen, Smor Zayin. Votanya, as we learned in the Braiso, Ubiyom Hirosbo, it says Ubiyom Hirosbo, on the day that he will see it. Hirosbo. Yeshom Shatoroy, Yeshom Shatoroy. There's a day that the Kohen sees the nega, and this day he doesn't see the nega. Mikan Omru, Chosan Shnod Lo Nega, let's say Chosan, all of a sudden a lesion appears. No Slo Zayimei Hamishte. Lo Beisul Chsuso. We give him 7 days, the 7 days of Yimei HaMishter, for himself, for his house, and for his ksus, for his garment, because it will actually disrupt the simcha of the 7 days of Shiv Yimei Mishter. Chem Beregel. What happens if a neger appears on his body by Yom Tif, or on his clothing, or on his house? Those lo Shiv Yimei Regel, Div Rabbi Yehuda. What is it based upon? It's based on the pasuk. It says Biyom Heiros, on the day when it is shown. Or it appears. Rabbi Omed Tzarech, Rabbi says you don't need that pasuk. It says Reeh Omed V'tziva Kohen Definu Sabayis. It says, but that if a person finds a discoloration on his house, it says you remove all the kalim from the bayis, all the kalim, and then he makes the pronouncement on the house. Imam Tinin Lo L'Dvar Rishus. If you wait before the pronouncement Dvar Rishus, so the vessel shouldn't become contaminated. Kosher L'Dvar Mitzvah, there's no question for Dvar Mitzvah, as we said, for Yom Tiv, or for Shivas Yimei Mishter. My Beinai, what's the difference between Rabbi Yehuda and Rabbi Nau Kodesh? The argument is it derived from the first pasuk, second pasuk, but there's no halachic difference. Ravam, no, Dvar Rishus Ikabenayu. For Dvar Rishus, meaning, because the pasuk that Rebbe cites, it has nothing to do. You're removing the kalim from the bayis, they should become tummies. It's Dvar Rishus. There's no mitzvah-related context whatsoever. So for Dvar Rishus, you see, you could delay it. Rabbi Yehuda Mihosam Lo Gamrina. So what does Rabbi Yehuda learn from Rebbe? Right? What does he learn as Rebbe learns from that? You wait until everything's removed from the house before you make the pronouncement. Why? The chidushu. Because the whole idea, it's a chidush. Nigei batim, it's a chidush. What's the chidush? The itzim v'avona ba'alma lo mitmu. Normally, if you have what we call pshuta kliyetz, you have a piece of wood, and it doesn't have a base kibul. Normally, in normal circumstance, sheretz touches, it's not tummy. But yet the Torah says that even that, if it's in the house, it becomes contaminated. So it's a chidush. You don't find these items acceptable for tumah. But yet, in regard to tumas bayis, tumas saras, it is. Bochmit mitmu. Rebbe Omar Yitzrich. You need both psukim. You need the pasuk by Digi Batim, and you need the pasuk in regard to the first pasuk, Biyom Heros. Dikos Rachmana Biyom Heros, Bohav Amino Dvar Mitzvah Lidvar Shuslo. If I'd only have the first pasuk, I would say only for Dvar Mitzvah do you delay the pronouncement, such as the regel or choson with the Shiv Simei Mishteh. Kos Rachmana V'tziva Kohen, so therefore the Torah says regard to the house, removing the vessels, which is Dvar Rishus. So why is the house enough? Because Rachmana V'tziva Kohen Havamina Hani Lav Tuma de Gufei. Maybe there because it doesn't apply to his body. So therefore we wait for the pronouncement. Aval Tuma de Gufei, but something which is on his body, the lesion on the body, Ema Merzechazile, maybe the Kohen sees it regardless of what the occasion is, even if it's a Dvar Mitzvah. Therefore, I need two psukim to tell me that the Kohen it holds off before the pronouncement. Amamar. Okay, now we're going to go over the Braisa. Yeshom she'ataroeh, bo the Yeshom she'ataroeh, but that's Rabbi Yehuda. It says from Yom he rose, bo on the day that it appears. So from there we deduced that there's a day that the Kohen does make the pronouncement, and this day does my mashma. How is it derived from the pasuk? Amar Rabbayim ke lichtav rachmana biyom my u biyom. Could have said biyom he rose. What's u biyom? The vav is superfluous. Shema mino from the vav. Rava says, no, you don't need the vav. Kule kro yiseru. Dimkei lichtav rachmano beiros. My biyom. The whole word ubiyom is superfluous. Shmamino. So what does ubiyom coming? Could it says ubeiros when he sees it or when it appears? Shmamino yeshom shtaroebo yeshom shtaroebo. V'abayi. So what does Abayi say? What does Abayi learn from the vav? Rava says the whole word ubiyom is superfluous. By having hahumi boile biyom v'lo balaylo. The Kohen, when he sees the nega, it has to be by natural light. He cannot see it at nighttime. Because visually you can't see it. You need artificial light. So if that's the case, where does Rava know that the nega can only be seen during the daytime, not at nighttime? It's learned from it, the Kohen has to be Maria Kohen. It has to be naturally the Kohen could see it. Rabbi says, you know what I mean? Maria Kohen. Lemute suma bachsmenav. Let's say the Kohen is blind in one eye. That means it's not Maria Kohen. Doesn't have his full vision. That Kohen's not qualified to evaluate the nega. Rava miboile lochi. So Rava also needs it for that. Enochinami elabiyom v'lo b'laylam. No. So how does he know? Now back to square one. How does he know the Kohen can only see it during the daytime and not at nighttime? Because Chomaria Kohen comes to exclude the Kohen that's blind in one eye. And I need biyom to teach me yom v'lo b'layla. So how does he know that there's a day? How does he learn from ubiyom that there's a day that you see, there's a day that you don't see, such as the Shivs Yimei Mishter and the what and the Yimei HaRegel? Nafkolei michnega nira li baboyus. It says nira li. A nega is seen to me. The bias li v'lo ori. So the word li tells me it has to see it naturally. It cannot be through any artificial light. So as a result of that, the word ubiyom is totally superfluous. To learn biyom, the days that you do see and the days that you don't see. V'abai says, so what does Abai learn from Li? Nega nira li baboyus. That's only maybe a tumah which doesn't apply to the person's body. Maybe even if he's assisted through artificial light, even then the Kohen makes a pronounced kamash malon. Therefore, I need biyom atoroe v'atoro balaylo. Next Mishnah. Odom Meir Malakid Odom Atzmos Oviv Imo B'nei Simchilo. That on Chol Moed you're permitted, let's say, to exhume the body, a body that was buried, and you exhume it. So I mean, the halachas will see when when a person exhumes a body for that day, he's considered an ovil until Shkia. He has to sit shiva. So he says, why? Because exhuming the body, it gives him relief. Like they use today, it's called closure. When you exhume the body, it brings some level of simcha to the person. Take a look at Rashi. Rashi says, "Shekovrin bekivri ovosov v'lo mitzar b'moed." Why are they exhuming the body? The person's buried. The answer is because they're going to transfer the remains to kivri ovos. So that gives the person simcha. So that compensates for the pain. Yeah? Shesimchalo, Rabbi Yossi Omer, Avol Ovel Hulo. He says, no, he's an Ovel. Since when you exhume the body, he becomes an Ovel, you're not permitted to do it on Yom Tif. That's Rabbi Yossi argues with Meir. Lo Yorod Orer Odom Al Meisol Le'Espitenu Kol Mereg V'Shloshim Yom. A person's not permitted to reawaken the Avelus, or to say it has to be within 30 days of Yom Tif. We'll see this Machlokes number, what's exactly the reason. Well, on Yom Tif, it's Pashut, right? Because a person, you reawaken it, so how does the person experience the Yom Tif? He experiences it with what? With pain. Rashi says, what's lo yara meso? Imes lo mes, chodesh o chodshayim kodem hamoed. Person lost somebody a month or two before Yom Tif. Lo yarir before shmur kar hader sabdona b'marova. Kol mishlo yiskor sabdon lachzo akrova v'lomar b'chi ami kol mori nefesh. You get professional eulogizers, and they reawaken, they open up the old wounds. So as a result of opening the old wounds, how do you think they're going to experience Yom Tif? It's like reliving the past. Therefore, you're not permitted to do this 30 days before Yom Tif. So Marissa asks, Rameir says, the reason why you're permitted to exhume the remains of the father and mother, because Simcha. So Marissa says, Raminu hamlaket atzmos oviv v'imo hareze misabel leim b'chol yom. They're considered an oval for that day. Ule'erevei misabel leim. So how can you say it's a Simcha? It's avelus. Even visually, he doesn't see the remains. he just has the remains in the sheet. Even then, Omer Abaye Emav Neshe Simchas HaRegel Olov. No, that the Simchas HaRegel, Rashi says, Kol Maharbe Hu Osik B'Simchas HaRegel, Ve'imim Star Belakit, because he's able to participate in Simchas HaRegel, so the pain from the parents being that, it somehow it subsumes that, it overshadows that. Milo E'ar Al Meso, what does it mean? He shouldn't be aroused for his mess 30 days before Yom Tiv. Omer Av Karhada or Sabdana Ben Marova, the way they would say a hesped in Eretz Yisrael, what would they say? What would the Sabdanim say? Yivkun Ame Komri Libo. Let the people cry, whoever has the merirus in his heart. Kodem Regel Shloshim Yom. You don't do this 30 days before the Regel. Meaning within 30 days. Maishno Shloshim Yom. Where do we come up with number 30 days? If it's within 30 days, it should not be done. Omer Afkan, because there was an incident. Omer Yudam Rav, Yudam Rav. Maisa Bodamech, listen to the story. Man, there was a story. Jekine Smos Lalos Regel, persons were saving one all year to be Olo the Regel. Ubos Sapton V'Omer Al Pesach Beso. And a Sapton came, a professional eulogizes, he gets paid. So what did the man's wife do? Uvenot Losin, Yishtuvna Lo, and she took the money and gave it to this, paid the fee. V'nimna V'lo, and because the wife spent the money, which the husband saved, Aliyah Regel, the husband could be Olo the Regel. Therefore, no eulogies 30 days before Yom Tiv. Because as Zolta, that is a concern that if a eulogizer comes, the wife may take the money, or the person may take the money, use it for that, and when it comes to Aliyah Regel, the man can't afford the expenses to get him up there. So what happened when this incident happened? And nobody permitted to say a hesped or to be aroused, to be awakened for that 30 days before Yom Tiv, because we're concerned if the financial loss will happen, it's going to interfere and not allow people to be Ola Regel. Shmuel Omar, Shmuel says another reason. Shmuel Omar. It takes 30 days for the mes to be mishtakech min alev. So therefore, if it's before 30 days, okay, so time Yom Tov comes, the person will forget about the mess. But what happens if it's within 30 days of Yom Tov and the sapton goes and opens old wounds, so it takes 30 days to recover from it. Here the person comes out Yom Tov experiencing the pain because the sapton, because the eulogizer opened wounds. Versus my beinah, what's the difference between Shmuel or the first reason? Whether the Gzeir was because of the money issue. Ika beinah, the covered bechin, what about if the Sapton is willing to do it without a fee? If he's willing to do it without a fee, there's no concern that what of an expenditure, so it can't put the money in jeopardy, so the person can afford to make the trip there to Yerushalayim. But if the issue is opening up wounds and it'll interfere with Simchas Yom Tiv, even if he's willing to do it for nothing, you're not permitted, because it takes 30 days for a person to recover from such a thing. Okay? So Tosa says, "V'nira da'aloch Rav Yisuri, it's machlos Rav and Shmuel rule like Rav. V'afir Shmuel Yishlom lo asira elos agis Rav Ulatz Moshori Yoser Sapik Mitzara Ali Deitzokov Yismach." He says something interesting. What a person wants to just let it out himself, not wear a sapton. Sometimes when a person gets it off his chest, he screams and he cries. When Yom Tov comes, he'll be over it by then. If an external person goes and arouses the old pain, that takes 30 days to recover. He says, if Shmuel is in agreement, if the person wants to cry and scream and grieve within 30 days, why? He says, because he says, Avod hu atzmu shori yosef misapik bitzaro al yidei tzoko v'yismach lachazman. Yeah, he'll relieve himself through screaming and crying, that by the time Yom Tov comes, he'll be in good shape. He'll be able to have a capacity to celebrate Yom Tov. Yeah, further. You're not permitted to dig kuchen. The Gemara will say is, that's what we call similar to the catacomb. It's in the mountain. The side of the mountain, you dig into the mountain. Kvaros is like a structure. You build a structure on the ground, and you put the mess, then you seal the structure. So you're not permitted to dig this or build these kvaros on Chol Moed. So Rashi explains, in those days, they would dig graves, whatever it was, whether it was in the mountain or a structure, And when the mess would present itself later, it's not something which is imminent. You need a place for somebody you have nowhere to bury him. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about, Rashi learns that the person, you don't have a corpse. You want to build or dig these graves for the eventuality. If somebody should die, it should be available. But it's not speaking you have somebody who died and you have nowhere to put him. If that would be the case, you could dig the grave. Okay, that's what Rashi and Rabbi Nachman learn in Tosus. What's mechanchen? Let's say they dig a grave in a wall, in a cave. Now, since dug basically, it's too wide, or it's too long, so they want to shorten it, or they want to broaden it. That's permitted. That's called that's fixing it. You make a nivreches. We'll see what nivreches is. You know, they would wash the clothes those days. What would they do? They would wash clothing. So they would dig like a ditch. Water would go in there, and that's where they would wash it. Then they would have like dig another ditch alongside. The water would run off. For the overflow would run over into a side ditch. That's nivreches. So you're permitted to make that on Yom Tif, on Chol Hamoed. V'oron imames b'chotzer. You're permitted to make the coffin if the mess is in the chotzer, because people see why you're making the coffin, because the mess is in the courtyard. They're not going to say you're preparing for some other time. It's a need for the mess. Rabbi Yehuda oser elam tiyeshim hanusarim. Rabbi Yehuda is permitted unless you already have the boards there ready. The boards basically are cut. To make, then you're permitted. But to start, to bring the boards where the boards are not there, that you're not permitted. Still says a pshat, either because it's too much tircha, or because it's an option to build stuff. If you have to start sawing boards, makes a lot of noise, it'd be a total disruption of Yom Tif. We'll see Tosei after we finish the Gemara. My kuchen, my kvaros, it says the Mishnah, you're not permitted to dig kuchen or kvaros. Om Rav Yehuda kuchen bechafira. Kuchen is digging. That's digging the grave. Kvaros bebinyan. It's building a structure. Put the mess in the structure. Tainami hochi. We learned the brayso. Elein kuchen. Beinlik kvaros. What a kuchen? What a kvaros? Kuchen bechafiro. Kvaros bebinyan. It's explicit in the brayso. We're on Chesed and Beis. But you're permitted to perfect the kuchen. What is that? If it was too long, you shorten it. You can make it, let's say it's too short. The person is a long person, and it's too short, so you're permitted to deepen it. The person's a wide person. You widen the insertion in the mountain. What's nivreches? My nivreches. I'm Rav Yehuda zubakia. The word bakia means like a split in the ground, a fissure. V'atanya nivreches v'abakia. So you see, it's two different things. Rabbi Temo Rav Kana Gia Bar Gia means there's the trench where actually you have the water, then you have like a cut to allow the water to flow through, a passageway to flow into an adjoining pit, adjoining trench. So it's a question: why are you permitted to dig this trench for washing clothing? The halacha is you're not permitted to wash clothing on Chol Hamoed, right? You're not permitted. So Tosas says, but there are cases later in the Mishnah. There's certain cases, yet you're permitted. Person is released from prison right before Yom Tov. He didn't have time to. He's permitted. Person comes from overseas. Also, he's permitted. There's certain cases that no, not cholam. Case no. Person is released from prison, or he comes. He's bom medina sayam. Okay. V'oren imames b'chotzet tinin ohoton rabon. We learned the brayso. Also called tzorchemes. You're permitted to attend to all the needs of a corpse. What is that? Goes in lo saro. You're permitted to cut his hair. Chaps in lo ksuso. You wash his clothing. Vos lo oron. You make the coffin. Nasrin. Habadu sorin. And you're permitted to cut the boards that already were cut. I mean that basically the boards are cut. You're just cutting in size. There of Yom Tov. Shem Gamliel af mevian eitzim umenasem b'tzinatok beso. You're permitted to even bring boards from elsewhere, and you cut them in private. It shouldn't be a public event. Okay, let's get to the end of the page with some notations. Einos and noshim boys. You're not permitted to get married to Chol Hamoed. V'lo b'sulos, whether she's a virgin, lo amonis, whether she's a widow, lo miyabmin, you're not permitted to yibum. Even though it's a mitzvah, they should simchulo, because since it's his wife, first wife, he never was married to this woman before. So there's a simcha. So what's wrong with simcha? We'll see the Gemara. What a person was previously married to the woman, divorced her, and wants to remarry her, so he's permitted to remarry her. Why? So because since they were previously married, the simcha is not that great. Isha the woman's permitted to do certain cosmetic procedures on Chol Hamoed. We'll see in a moment. They would make a mask of dough, which actually would be an irritant for the skin, so she's in pain, but ultimately she's going to recover and make her look more presentable. Review the Omer, lo sosur, lo sosud. You're not permitted to put this chemical lime on the face, because she looks ugly. Nivel. Haheja tofer kedarko, if a person's not a professional tailor, he could sew as he normally sews, because his stitch is not a professional stitch. But if a person's uman, a professional tailor, can machliv, the stitches are not straight. They're not straight stitches. Okay? Umesargenes amitos, you're permitted to put the straps which hold up the bed. Rebudo b'maschin, you're permitted to tighten them, but you're not permitted to initially to insert them, to crisscross them. That you're not permitted. Somewhere says v'chisimchu ma'ilo. It says you're not permitted to get married because it's simple. So what's wrong with being samech on Yom Tov? It's a mitzvah to be samech. Omer Rebudo Shmuel, v'chein Omer Abloza, Omer Aboshia. Rebuda said name of Shmuel, and Rabloza said name of Aboshia. V'amilo Omer Abloza, Omer Abchanino. Fish ein marvin simchu b'simcha. You're not permitted, since it's a mitzvah simcha Yom Tov, ein marvin simcha b'simcha, because the simcha of getting married will detract from the simcha of Yom Tov. That's ein marvin simcha b'simcha. See this famous Tosas over here. Rabba bar Rafuna Omar Mneishe Meiniach Simchas Haregel Vosi B'Simchas Ishto. Because you're abandoning the simcha of the Yom Tov, and you're going to be occupied with simcha of the wife. Amalei Abayi the Rav Yosef. So Abayi says to Rav Yosef, Hoda Rabba Rafuna, the Ravu. Rabba Rafuna is what Rav had said. Yeah, which is the first thing. Rega. The Omar Rav Daniel Barkini Omar Rav Minay Shenosin Noshim B'Moed Shneim V'Somachti B'Chagecho. Says you should rejoice in the Chag. So what's the connotation of Chagecho? B'Chagecho will be Ishtacha. So if the wife is going to detract from the simcha of your wife, of the Chag, then you're not permitted. Ul Omar Minei Torah. Because persons get married, you have to prepare a special suda. As a result of that, it's a burden. Therefore, you leave it till after Yom Tov. You know what's going to happen? Why aren't you permitted to take a haircut on Chol Hamoed or on a wash of clothing? Because people, they're busy until Yom Tov. They'll leave everything for Chol Hamoed. They said, look, we're not working in either case. We have time to do the wash, to go to the barber, do everything on Chol Hamoed. Chazal said we don't want that. You have to enter into Yom Tov. Everything's prepared. So over here, if people know they can get married on Chol Hamoed, people do. They're going to delay getting married. So the mitzvah pirivivio is going to be delayed. So therefore, knowing that they don't have that option, you're busy all year anyway. So therefore, the person will get married when he's supposed to get married. Okay, let's see some of the Taisin here. Very interesting Taisin. Let's see. Kuchin kvaros b'moed. Second Taisin on Chesed Beis. Pierce b'kontries l'tzorcha moed beisim hu osa afilu ksheitz ato. Okay, so he said differently. I just whereas. Tosas brings Yerushalmi when it says you can be Masik Grushaso and Chol Hamoed, that's only a Grusha from Nisuin, not from Erison. They were fully married. Of course, if it's Erison, they were never really married. What's a Marvin Simcha B'Simcha? Gzersa Kosket Dashina L'Kamad Mikrot the Shlomo is a pasuk later. It's a Dorais. A Marvin Simcha, you can't intermingle Simcha with Simcha Dorais. Yerushalmi, Dorish Law, we find by Roch and Leah, what did Lavan say to Yaakov? Mali Shvuzos, let the week pass of celebration, then you'll marry Rachel. V'tam nireh k'tzas k'mot she'enos mitzvahs chavilos chabino and she'libo ponoi l'mitzvah achas. As we say, enos mitzvahs chavilos. You don't do mitzvahs in bunches because it's a disrespect for the mitzvah. Lo yifne atzmo v'chein simcha b'simcha yelibo ponoi chagech l'ishto icha droshu v'lo asmachti. This chagech l'ishto is a doraisa. It's not a asmachto. Can I mean per kamen chagiga of Rashi? Hayb chagech my dorish bay nea torach masis namber nea simcha bittul biribo. Okay, not a bottom tesis. Oh, simchu lo masha osibrots not a regular sheish. Somech lo sheyeh ponoi vodem min amazu grushos shein simcha lo shach ir besimcha lo minich simcha seregel. Yeah, Tosa says when he takes his wife back, it's like he already had children from her before. Okay, now, Gamin Rogel Lishos Dover Ze Arareg, Usudas Bris Milo. Now, he has an interesting shaila. Are you permitted to celebrate a Bris Milo, not the Bris, but a Sudas Bris Milo on Chol Moed? Because you have to say, what about Torah? And what about a Marvin Simcha B'Simcha? Sudas Bris Milo, Lasus B'Chol Moed, Deleka Simcha. G'dami Per Kamadik Subis. V'lo Mvorchem Simcha B'Mono, Mishum Nisle Tzaru Yinuk, we don't Simcha B'Mono in Birchas HaMazon, because the child was pained. Since it's a set time, marriage you get married anytime, but the child has to be circumcised. It's not so simple. It's not a problem. Specifically, it's Ishtcha, any other simcha you permitted, Tosa says. So you can make a Sudas Bris Milo, you can make a Bris Milo, Pidyer Ben. Lo Cheshivi Simcha B'Simcha, Kim Sudas. He says the only simcha which is on par with Yom Tif is getting married. The simcha for Pidyon Ben, the simcha for Bris, it's not at that level, so it's not considered a detraction one from another. To be continued.